A lot of you talking this morning in our digital dive. The stay-home order extension to May 4th from Governor Walz hasn't been an easy pill to swallow, but we're doing it to help flatten the curve. Yesterday, the top Republican in the state Senate pushed back against that deadline, saying it's going to crush the economy. Republican Senate Majority Leader Paul Gazelka not agreeing with the governor's decision, saying in part, we have to get on with our lives. He also questioned the high-end projection of needing 5,000 ICU beds in Minnesota. He tweeted, "We're ready for the surge right now. Why shut down Minnesota businesses for a New York-sized surge?" And during his daily press briefing yesterday, the governor responded.
First of all, we have a confidence interval, anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000, which is more conservative. I'm listening to the healthcare executives, the healthcare experts. I'm listening to Mayo Clinic.
Yeah, other lawmakers have simply asked for more balance between safety and the economy.
We have a lot of jobs and a lot of small businesses that can do their work safely without putting them or their customers at risk, and they should be allowed to continue.
And the governor's extended order does have some exemptions for outdoor workers and directs his commissioners to study ways to bring back other non-critical employees if it is safe. And a big reason and a reminder for the extension to May 4th is to get more ventilators, ICU beds, personal protective equipment or PPE, and testing methods. And Chris, when I was reading through the comments this morning, the majority of our Sunrisers believe the governor is making the right call by staying home.
Yeah, I mean, all he can really do right now is listen to the medical professionals like he's been doing, the Mayo Clinic, the CDC, and making those decisions based on that. Thanks, Alicia.